How did we get here? How did we go from seeing sex as a natural, beautiful part of life to something shrouded in shame, guilt, and confusion? The answer is simple programming. From the moment you became aware of your body, society began shaping how you should view sex not innocently, but with a deliberate, calculated agenda. Think back to your first curiosity about your body. It was likely met with silence, avoidance, or worse, discomfort. The innocent questions you asked were turned away, not with knowledge, but with a hint of shame. These moments, seemingly small, are the building blocks of something far deeper. This is not a random event. It's a system designed to make you feel uncomfortable in your own skin, to disconnect you from the natural desires that make you whole. The reality is the messages about sex you received weren't just individual opinions, they were systematic. Cultural and religious influences have repeatedly sent you the same message: your body is something to be ashamed of. Churches teach that sex is sinful, creating an environment of guilt and repression. Media, instead of portraying sex as a beautiful, powerful experience, has turned it into a product, either a tool for entertainment or something to fear. These messages didn't just change the way you look at sex. They shaped how you look at yourself, your desires, and ultimately your worth. And this fear of desire is the most dangerous piece of the puzzle. Desire has been framed as something that needs to be controlled, something that can easily lead to danger. We've been taught to suppress what is natural, what is human, and what is divine. The more we fear our desires, the more we disconnect from our truth. This fear is perpetuated from generation to generation, locking us into a cycle of guilt and shame, keeping us small, docile, and easy to control. But here's the thing: when you disconnect from your sexual energy, you lose your power. Society knows this. It's easier to control people who are afraid of their own desires. When you're taught that your body is a battleground between sin and salvation, you become someone who polices themselves, hiding from their truth. They don't want you to reclaim this power. They want you to stay in a constant state of fear, to never realize that your sexual energy is not a threat. It is your life force, your creative power, your connection to the divine. Next steps: reclaim. Your body. Reclaiming your sexual energy starts with reclaiming your body. It's not just about the physical. It's about reconnecting mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You must unlearn the shame and guilt you've been conditioned to carry from a young age. Honoring your desires. Embrace your desires as part of your true self, not as something to be hidden or feared. Your desires are a reflection of the divine energy within you. When you stop suppressing them, you begin to unlock your true potential. Now that we understand how deep the programming runs, it's time to take our power back. But reclaiming your sexual energy isn't as simple as just deciding to feel differently. It's a journey of undoing years, maybe even decades of conditioning that has kept you disconnected from your body and your desires. It's not about performing, it's about reconnecting to something sacred that has always been within you. The first thing to remember is that sexual energy is not just for reproduction or fleeting pleasure. It's your access to a deeper, infinite power. Think about this: sexual energy is your creative force, your vitality, the energy that fuels not just your body but your soul. It's the energy that created you, that flows through you. And when you reclaim it, you step into your full potential as a human being connected to the universe. In ancient practices like Tantra and Taoism, sexual energy was seen as sacred, a tool for spiritual awakening and longevity. These cultures understood that sex is not just an act between bodies, but a powerful transformative experience that connects the individual to the divine. In these practices, sexual energy is something to be revered, cultivated, and channeled, not something to be feared or repressed. But somewhere along the way, society lost this wisdom. Instead of teaching us to honor our sexual energy, we were taught to suppress it. Religion told us that sex was sinful, while society commodified it, turning it into something base, something we use or give away for fleeting pleasure. The sacred nature of sex was buried under layers of shame and guilt, and we were left disconnected from one of the most powerful aspects of our being. So reclaiming your sexual energy isn't just about physical pleasure, it's about spiritual awakening. This isn't about indulgence or excess, it's about respect, reverence, and self-empowerment. It's about seeing sex as an expression of divine energy, rather than something to hide or repress. Next steps: reconnect with your body. Reclaiming your sexual energy starts with reconnecting with your body. This isn't just about physicality, it's about reconnecting mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Start by paying attention to how your body feels, what it craves, and how it moves. Begin to understand your body's responses and energy flow. Cultivate your energy. Start practicing techniques that help you cultivate and channel this energy. Practices like meditation, breathwork, and even slow intentional movement, such as yoga, can help you tap into your sexual energy, not just for pleasure, but as a tool for transformation. These practices will help you begin to access your sexual energy in a conscious way. Honor your desires. Stop shaming yourself for what you feel. Desire is natural. It is the spark of life itself. When you begin to honor your desires, you open yourself to a deeper connection with yourself and with the universe. Your desires are an expression of your soul's energy. When you stop repressing them, you unlock a new layer of your true self. When you suppress your sexual energy, the cost is high. It doesn't just disappear, it gets locked away in your body and mind, and over time it manifests as emotional numbness, creative blocks, and even physical discomfort. You might not even realize the impact it's having on you, but the longer you ignore it, the more it seeps into other areas of your life, affecting your relationships, your career, and your mental health. Repression isn't a passive process. It actively shapes the way we experience life. Think about how sexual energy is a vital part of your existence, a life force that fuels not just your body, but your creativity, your relationships, and your emotional state. When you suppress that energy, you create a disconnect between your inner self and the world around you. This disconnect is where emotional numbness begins. You become less able to feel joy, intimacy, or even a sense of purpose in life. This disconnection isn't just emotional, it's also physical. Repressing sexual energy can manifest in physical symptoms like fatigue, tension, or even chronic pain. Your body holds on to the unexpressed energy, and it becomes stuck, creating a block that makes it difficult to fully engage with the world. In the long term, this can lead to health problems, including low libido, digestive issues, or a weakened immune system. And psychologically, the toll is just as severe. When we are conditioned to repress our sexual energy, we also repress our emotions, our creativity, and our sense of self-worth. The constant battle between our desires and the shame that society has taught us to feel creates internal conflict. This conflict doesn't just fade away, it builds over time, leading to deep-seated feelings of guilt, unworthiness, and confusion about our identity. As a result, we struggle with self-esteem, doubting our value, our desires, and our power. The mind becomes trapped in a cycle of judgment, both from within and from external societal pressures. The consequence of this repression isn't only about what we're losing, it's also about what we're missing out on. When we suppress our sexual energy, we miss out on the opportunity for true connection. Sex becomes mechanical, a transactional act, something to perform rather than an expression of love, creativity, and spiritual unity. We start to view sex as an obligation, a duty, or worse, something to be ashamed of. This mindset closes us off from deeper, more meaningful experiences, leaving us emotionally isolated and disconnected from both ourselves and others. Next steps: recognize the root of your repression. To truly begin healing, you must first understand where your repression originated. Was it influenced by religious teachings, societal norms, family dynamics, or personal experiences? Understanding these roots helps you take back your power by realizing that these beliefs were never yours to begin with, they were imposed upon you. This insight allows you to break free from the chains of shame and guilt and reclaim your true self. Address the emotional damage. The emotional baggage that comes with repression is not just about sexuality. It affects your sense of self-worth and your ability to engage authentically with others. Confronting the emotions tied to repressed sexual energy is crucial for healing. Whether it's shame, guilt, or fear, allowing yourself to fully feel these emotions in a safe, compassionate environment is the first step in releasing them. Healing involves not just the mind, but the body too. The body remembers what the mind tries to forget. Reconnect with pleasure, not just sex. Start reconnecting with the sense of pleasure, not as something sexual, but as an everyday experience. Notice the small joys, whether it's enjoying a warm bath, a hug, or savoring a delicious meal. These small acts of pleasure help rewire your brain to accept and enjoy your body's natural rhythms without judgment or guilt. It's about learning that pleasure is not shameful, it's vital. This approach shifts the focus away from performance and opens the door to real, authentic pleasure. Be compassionate with yourself. Healing takes time, and it's important to be patient and compassionate with yourself. There will be moments where you feel overwhelmed or uncertain about whether you can fully reclaim your sexual energy. But each small step you take toward embracing your desires, honoring your body, and releasing shame is a victory. Be kind to yourself along the journey, acknowledging how far you've come and celebrating the progress you make each day. The power of sexual healing. Healing from sexual repression is not just about restoring your connection to your sexuality, it's about restoring your relationship to yourself. It's about reclaiming your power, your creativity, and your full emotional expression. When you begin to heal your sexual energy, you are also healing your relationship with intimacy, vulnerability, and trust. And this healing isn't just about feeling more alive in your own body, it transforms the way you interact with others. You stop seeing sex as a means of validation or a way to fulfill an expectation. Instead, sex becomes a sacred exchange, an opportunity to experience connection, presence, and transformation. It allows you to be fully present with your partner, to let go of the need to perform or please, and to embrace the shared energy between you. When you heal your relationship with your sexuality, you heal your relationship with life itself. You learn to be vulnerable, open, and free, not just in sex, but in every area of your life. You become more authentic, more confident, and more connected to the world around you. You rediscover a deep sense of worthiness and empowerment. The journey is ongoing. Sexual healing is not a destination, it's a process. It requires consistent self-reflection, self-love, and a commitment to honoring your body and desires. But the rewards are limitless. The more you reclaim and embrace your sexual energy, the more you awaken your true self. You are no longer bound by societal limitations or conditioned beliefs. You are free to live authentically with full access to your creative, passionate, and spiritual power. Next steps. Begin your inner work. Take time each day to reflect on how sexual repression has shown up in your life. Ask yourself, how have I been conditioned to view my body and my desires? What beliefs about sex and intimacy have I internalized? By answering these questions, you begin the process of releasing the negative beliefs that no longer serve you. Use affirmations and meditation. Start with simple affirmations like, "My body is sacred," or "I honor my desires without guilt." Meditation can help you reconnect with your body's natural energy and allow you to release stored emotional tension. Focus on connecting with the energy of your sexual vitality, acknowledging it as a powerful, life-affirming force. Find safe spaces to heal. Healing your sexual energy requires safety both within yourself and with others. Surround yourself with people who are supportive and accepting. Seek spaces where you can talk openly about your experiences without judgment or shame. If you feel ready, consider therapy or counseling with someone who can help guide you through the process of sexual healing. Reclaiming your sexual energy is not just about altering your relationship with sex. It's a complete shift in perspective, an awakening that integrates every part of you, both physical and spiritual. Sacred sexuality goes beyond indulgence or seeking pleasure for its own sake. It's about reverence and connection. It's about understanding that sex at its core is an act of the divine. Every encounter, whether with yourself or another, is an opportunity to unite with the sacred within you and within all life. This transformation requires a deeper understanding that your body is not separate from your soul. For too long, society has taught us to view the body as something to control, hide, or shame. We've been conditioned to believe that spirituality exists in the mind far removed from our desires and physicality. But sacred sexuality calls us to dismantle this false divide. It teaches us that body and soul are not opposing forces, they are one. And when you understand that your body is a vessel for divine energy, you realize that sex, at its highest form, is an expression of that divine energy. Sexual energy is one of the most potent forces in the human experience. It is the force that fuels creation, passion, intimacy, and transformation. When this energy is consciously directed, it becomes a spiritual practice, a way to commune with the divine, to heal, and to elevate your consciousness. Rather than viewing sex as a transaction, a fleeting moment of physical pleasure, Sacred sexuality invites you to experience sex as an alchemical process, a journey of self-discovery, healing, and spiritual awakening. But for many, reclaiming sacred sexuality means releasing years of conditioning that have made us view our sexual desires as wrong, dirty, or inappropriate. These beliefs are deeply embedded in our subconscious and must be consciously undone. It takes courage to face the shame, guilt, and fear surrounding our sexuality, but it's a necessary step if we are to reclaim our power. Sacred sexuality invites us to return to our natural state, where sex is not a source of shame, but a sacred and beautiful act of creation. Next steps. Shift your mindset from shame to reverence. The first step in integrating sacred sexuality is to shift your mindset. Start by recognizing the beliefs you've been taught about sex. Are they based on shame, guilt, or fear? Or are they grounded in reverence, connection, and love? Sacred sexuality invites you to change the way you view sex from something transactional or shameful to something sacred, transformative, and creative. This shift requires unlearning years of conditioning and replacing those beliefs with new empowering ones that honor the sacredness of your body and desires. Honor your body as a vessel of the divine. One of the most powerful aspects of sacred sexuality is learning to see your body as a vessel for divine energy. Your body is not a thing to be controlled or feared. It is a sacred temple. This perspective shift allows you to begin viewing your desires not as sinful or shameful, but as expressions of your natural divine energy. The more you connect with your body in this way, the more you will begin to see your sexual energy as a force of creation and transformation. Reclaim your pleasure without guilt. Pleasure is not something to be ashamed of. It is a fundamental part of the human experience. Sacred sexuality invites you to reclaim your right to pleasure. This means letting go of guilt or shame surrounding your desires. Allow yourself to feel and experience pleasure without judgment, without the need to perform or prove anything. Pleasure becomes a form of sacred expression, a way to connect with yourself, your partner, and the divine. Create rituals of sacred sexuality. Sacred sexuality is a lifestyle, not just a practice in the bedroom. One way to integrate it into your life is by creating rituals that honor your sexual energy. These rituals can be anything from lighting candles and practicing mindfulness before sex to engaging in regular self-care or setting aside time for self-reflection on your sexual health and energy. Rituals help you to honor your body and your desires, making sacred sexuality a part of your daily life, not just a special event. Practice presence and mindfulness. The key to sacred sexuality is presence. To truly experience the sacredness of sex, you must be fully present with your body, your partner if you have one, and the energy flowing between you. This means letting go of distractions mentally, emotionally, and physically. Be mindful of your body's sensations, the energy in the room, and the emotions that arise. When you practice presence, you stop trying to control the experience and allow the energy to flow freely. Presence creates a deeper connection between body and soul, and it opens the door to transformation. Sacred sexuality in practice. Real-life application. Reclaiming sacred sexuality requires bringing this concept into your real-life experiences, into the moments where you interact with your body, your desires, and the world around you. Sacred sexuality isn't something you do just during intimate moments. It's a lens through which you can view and experience life itself. One way to integrate sacred sexuality into your daily life is to become more aware of how you move through the world. How do you carry yourself? Do you walk with confidence, grace, and awareness? The way you move is a reflection of your inner state, and practicing sacred sexuality means bringing presence and reverence into every action you take. Whether you're walking, working, or interacting with others, the way you carry yourself can reflect the sacredness of your being. You can also begin incorporating sensuality into your everyday activities. Sensuality is not just about sex, it's about the full experience of being alive. Sensuality means engaging your senses in the present moment, whether that's enjoying the feel of the sun on your skin, savoring the taste of food, or listening to the sounds of nature. By embracing your senses, you cultivate a deeper appreciation for the divine energy that flows through you every day. Sacred sexuality also means embracing your sexuality with an open heart, without shame or fear. It means being open to the deep intimacy that can be shared not just with a partner, but with yourself. When you treat yourself with love and respect, your ability to connect deeply with others grows exponentially. Sacred sexuality is about cultivating deep intimacy with yourself, your partner, and the divine. Next steps: become mindful of your actions. Start practicing mindfulness in your everyday actions. Pay attention to how you move, speak, and interact with others. Do you do so with grace, awareness, and respect? Practice sacred sexuality in every moment, honoring your body as a temple and every action as an expression of divine energy. Engage your senses. Take time each day to engage fully with your senses. Whether you're eating, walking, or interacting with nature, practice being present and enjoying the full experience. This helps you connect with your body in a deeper way, making you more attuned to your sexual energy and your own sacredness. Practice deep intimacy. Learn to create deep intimacy with yourself. This may involve practicing self-care, exploring your own desires without judgment, and honoring your body as it is. By deepening your relationship with yourself, you become more capable of creating deep, meaningful connections with others, both emotionally and sexually. Understanding the concept of sacred sexuality is one thing, but integrating it into your daily life is where the real magic happens. Sacred sexuality is a lifestyle, a way of being, not just a series of isolated moments. It's about weaving it into every aspect of your existence, from how you move, how you speak, how you love, and how you connect with others. One of the first ways to begin integrating sacred sexuality into your life is by reconnecting with your body. This means learning to listen to your body's cues, honoring its needs, and responding with compassion. If you feel tension or discomfort, rather than ignoring it, take the time to investigate why it's there. Your body always has something to teach you, and when you listen to it, you learn to work in harmony with it. This also means letting go of the fear of desire. Many people suppress their desires because they fear they are too much or too little. But desire is the essence of life. It's what drives us forward, motivates us to create, to connect, to grow. Sacred sexuality isn't about denying desire. It's about understanding it and allowing it to flow freely without guilt or shame. The true practice of sacred sexuality extends beyond the bedroom. It's about how you interact with the world around you. When you start seeing your sexual energy as a sacred force, you start to notice it in all areas of your life. From the way you speak to the way you create love and express yourself, sacred sexuality becomes a reflection of who you are at your deepest level. Next steps: reconnect with your body. Start by becoming more aware of your body. Practice mindfulness and body awareness in everyday activities. Whether you're walking, eating, or simply sitting, tune in to the sensations in your body. Notice how your body feels when you experience pleasure, and don't be afraid to fully embrace those moments. Honor your desires. Allow yourself to feel your desires without shame. Practice self-acceptance and self-love. Understand that desire is not something to fear. It is your natural divine energy expressing itself. When you honor your desires, you connect with your true self and open up a channel for creative spiritual energy. Embody presence. Work on being fully present in everything you do. Whether it's in sex relationships or simply being with yourself, practice being fully in the moment. Let go of distractions and judgments. Allow yourself to experience life with openness, vulnerability, and authenticity. Conclusion. The lesson, clear takeaway. The journey to sacred sexuality is not about perfection. It's about integration. It's about reconnecting with the divine energy within you and learning to honor it in all aspects of your life. You don't have to be someone else to live this truth. You simply need to remember who you've always been. When you reclaim your sexual energy and see it as sacred, you step into your full power. You stop hiding, stop repressing, and begin to live in alignment with your true self. Sacred sexuality is about transformation. It's about healing, awakening, and becoming who you were always meant to be. Remember, your sexual energy is not just a physical force. It is a spiritual one. And when you begin to honor it, you begin to honor the divine within you. This is your path to healing, to connection, to a life that is fully alive and free.